How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a magnificent day. Today we're taking a look at some Builders Workshop Destruction, how to two-shot them in 3 separate bases and 3 sets of 2 attacks. So let's jump right into the first one and explain the strategy. We're using the good old Graveyard Ground Spam strategy. My personal favorite strategy at the moment, as it absolutely crushes weak and under-leveled bases. So for the graveyard placements, you of course want to place them over the big splash targeting defenses, but you want to place them either to the left, right, or behind those defenses, so that as your troops approach them, the cannons will occasionally turn and not shoot directly at your army. For the Builder's Workshop, it is also a good idea to create 2 sets of, or 2 groups for your army. I ideally have them on the same side of the base, but have them spread out, because there's a lot of splash damage that can hit the Super Wizards, and the longer you can protect the Super Wizards, the better. Your goal is to take out ideally 2, sometimes 3 of the splash defenses, and at least get very close to taking out the other 2 or 3 that are left. So now of course we're going to drop 2 of the graveyards over the giant cannons, and then 1 more sort of just in the middle. It's always good to place the graveyard spells in front of where your army is going, ideally closer the better, so that as your troops die, skeletons spawn and distract the defenses. Doing the 2-shot this way on Builders Workshops can very easily guarantee you between 24,000 and 30,000, depending on the strength of the workshops that you verse. Now we'll go over the deployment on the second attack, because this one is wrapping up and we get a lot of bonus loot. 171, so not too much even died on that attack. So next up we are taking a look at, again, Builder's Workshop. Trying to set up the base for 2 shots. So you want to deploy your troops in a way that you can go from one side of the base to the other. So for whatever reason, I like, or for at least this base, it looked like going from the bottom left-hand side to the top right-hand side was going to be easiest. So we have sort of 2 areas, one on the bottom left, one in the sort of middle portion of the base. So I like to drop, 3 or 4 giants on one side, then 3 or 4 giants on the other side, followed by 3 or 4 Super Wizards, same on the other side. Then you can really focus on the rams. You want to make sure that those walls are open before the next pair of defenses go down, so that your giants can go straight from one defense to the other. And if the walls are open properly, your Super Wizards should be roughly behind them at all times. Now the hogs are there to try and reset some of the big splash targeting defenses, so the blast bows or the giant cannons. A lot of times if you can just get that little bit of a stun, a little bit of a reset, then you're good to go. So here, this one, attacking from that side of the base, was not the right idea, because there's still 5 of the splash targeting defenses remaining. However, this giant cannon is directly targetable, and this left-hand giant cannon will go down just on the graveyard spells alone. So we're really just focused about pushing through the center portion of the base and trying to save some troops for the back-end giant cannons. Very important when attacking the Builder's Workshop, especially if it is a spread-out layout. You want to save a couple of troops for the back end. If you have a ram that you can send in, or maybe a giant that's offset from your main grouped up army, then that will save you so many hit points from these giant cannon shots that go off Because if you can change the angle of that shot, even just a couple, it will allow time for your super wizards to get into position. So like in this case particularly, I have saved 2 rams and a pack of hogs. Sent in the rams to try and get closer and open up the wall, because I did not want these super wizards to get hit. As you can see, it barely offset 1, so only 1 got hit. Usually by the end of the attack, if you have just a couple of super wizards left, then you are in good shape. A lot of times the giants are the last to die, so sometimes if you have good pathing or open walls, the giants themselves can actually take out the base, which is kind of cool. So we'll take a look at a third one. We'll speed it up this time, so we don't have to sit through it. Or no, that was the same one. One moment. Technical difficulties. Here we go. So again, we're looking at the 3 graveyard spells over the splash targeting defenses, creating 2 groups of your army so they can go and attack sort of separate portions of the base. Get one side set up, wait for them to potentially spread out, but you want to keep an eye with those rams, open up walls, try to figure out where they're going, and then with the hogs, you can either attack the big splash defenses and reset them, or if there are some flanking defenses that are actually targeting the super wizards, it's also a good idea to send them over to that defense and take that out. Because as long as you keep your super wizards alive for as long as possible, you will be in good shape, because the skeletons die out rather quickly. Because of the giant cannons, they immediately take out the skeletons, just blast right through their shield and the skeletons themselves. You know, in this attack, whenever there's just 2 defenses remaining, if you have over 50% of the base taken out, it's going to be very easy. Your minimum benchmark goal is going to be taking out between 30 and 40% of the base and 2 of the splash targeting defenses. As long as you get pretty close, you know, if you get 1 defense and 50% taken out, that's fine. If you get, you know, 2 or 3 of the defenses taken out and you only have 25 or 30% of the base taken out, that is also fine. But I highly recommend learning how to 2-shot the Builder's Workshop. It's a very fun base to learn. It's pretty easy too. It's not too difficult, but it gives you, it's a great place to start when learning how to 2-shot bases. The only one easier probably is the Wizard Valley. You can 2-shot that using almost anything. But hope this video was helpful. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you enjoyed it and liked the video, I encourage you to subscribe and like the video. Helps me out a lot. And there are a couple more videos on the screen if you want to keep on watching. Until next time, take care.